In this video, we're going to be covering how to create a new tax return, how to start a return. Well, it just so happens that that's also the first item at the top of our screen. Start a new tax return. So what are you going to do? Click Select. This gives you the 7216 reminder, making sure that you have permission to e-file their tax return. And you simply input their social security number. So I'm just going to make up some information, show you how easy it is to use, and go from there. So I'm going to click continue, and the first thing it's going to ask me is what is their filing status. Now in this software you are presented with basically an option or an opportunity at pretty much every juncture. If you don't know what you're doing or you have questions as to what you should be doing, you have the I know what I'm doing side, and then you have the please help me side. So you have the filing status wizard. If you're not sure what to select, you can use the filing status wizard. If you do know what to select, just come over here, click head of household, click continue, and put in your basic information. And we'll call this the basic info return. And we jump over to date of birth using my 10 key. I just start punching in information, and she's in sales, or he or whoever's in sales. We put in their address, uh, put in 2 phone numbers, the bank application. If you are doing a bank application, it requires 2 phone numbers, and it's just always good to get. If you want to go back, you're like, I messed up, I need to change my filing status, you can click back to go to your filing status, or you can continue forward. Also at this point, I want to point out, you can see that the top, the header, is working from left to right. We started at filing status, went to personal information, next stop dependents. Over here on the left hand side, we start with our enter form number, our basic information, which is what we're doing now, which is why you see the big red dot next to it. It's all bolded. Next to federal, and then health insurance and so forth. We make our way down the return. I'm going to click continue, jump over to my dependent information, click yes. I want to input that basic info, and this is dependent. Pulls the last name forward. If it's not the same as the last name of the primary taxpayer, type over the top of it. And then we put in our date of birth, again using my 10 key. If you had a dependent that does not have a Social Security and I-10, you would check this, and it would allow you to bypass entering in a Social Security number, in which case it would prompt you, hey, need to do a W-7. We're going to click into our relationship, say it's a son, and they lived with us for 12 months. None of this other stuff applies, so we're going to click continue. Very, very simple. If we had another dependent, we would click the add button, enter in their dependent information, and click continue. If you had another dependent, and you get it, right? So we're going to click continue here, and it's going to drop us down to our federal section. We're going to cover this here in a moment, but what I wanted just to make sure of is that we knew how to start a return. We knew how to put in the filing status, and if we needed to, use the filing status wizard. We then put in our taxpayer information from top to bottom. If we had left anything incomplete that was mandatory information, it would have flagged us and prevented us from moving forward until we had completed that info. Then we jump to our dependent screen, put in our dependent information, and then as you can see, it jumps us to our federal section. So that's how we create a tax return. That's the basics of basically creating the account or creating the file. And hopefully you thought that was as simple as I did.